Hi, I'm Evan Stevens. This is Evan Stevens Ceramics. Come along and watch me do something completely new at 5:30 in the morning. Wish me luck. Hey friends, today we're gonna make a temple jar in two sections, something I've never done before. So it's gonna look a lot like this. So it's gonna look a lot like that, but much bigger. Wish me luck. It's 5:30 in the morning. I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of know what I'm doing. Yeah, let's just go do it. Well, hey there. This is VoiceOver Evan coming at you with some commentary. So I figure why we watch this sped up and slowed down, depending on what part of the process we're on, video. I would talk about failure a little bit and why it's such a big deal, why I hate it so much, but why it is so necessary to learn. So failure sucks, and we all kind of hate it, but we all go through it, and it's actually really important. Why is it so important to the creative process? Why is it so important to technical skills? Well, it's because you learn more when you fail. You learn exactly what not to do. When you do something right the first time, I feel like you don't truly comprehend how difficult it is, the skills needed. Sometimes it's just luck, right? So sometimes failure is a huge part of the process because it teaches us exactly what to avoid. And so today I really was lured into a false sense of security with these pots because they were going very well in the beginning. I prepared the clay, centered them easily, pulling was a little weird here and there. I don't always work with this amount of clay, but that being said, I was very excited because I really felt like I was going to succeed, even though that would mean that I was not learning as much if I failed. And I have to take time now to express that, this is a project that I have kind of wanted to do since I started ceramics. I've been doing ceramics for about 15 years. I have a BFA in ceramics from school. And this is something that, out of fear of failure, I have yet to attempt, even though it's something I've always dreamed of making. And so the fact that it took this long, but I'm finally in a place to push through that fear of failure, was really exciting for me, and I think a big moment of growth. And so pushing through, knowing that this is my first attempt, I might have to start over, I might have to do all the work again, but pushing through that to find out if it is something I'm really capable of. And in this video, I totally flopped the pots at the end, spoiler alert, but I went and did a second pot with the same clay, wedged it, re-wedged it off the wheel, and then cut it in half, wedged it some more, and then did the process over again, and I actually did succeed. But it took the first failure to know exactly what to do for the success. So failure is so beyond important. And I think it's so funny that we all fear failure so much when it really is the one thing that teaches us the most. So just a little bit of technical here. I'm creating a divot in the rim so that I have a good section, a slot to take the other pot, which I will actually make upside down, so I can flip it and connect them at the middle. And then I will cut the top of the other pot off and then use that to throw the rest of the pot, which you will see in a little bit. So here I go with section number 2. This is going to be the top of the pot. I'm just starting by centering. I use a coning method to try and center the clay. Instead of trying to force it all into center in one go, you kind of cone up, center part of it, cone down, center part of it, cone up, center part of it. It also homogenizes the clay and makes sure that if you missed any air bubbles during wedging, this is a good opportunity for some of those to be popped through the process as you're kind of moving the clay on the wheel. Now I'm gonna open the pot. I'm going all the way to the bat or the wheel head. So this pot doesn't have a bottom to it. It's essentially a donut of clay that I will now begin pulling to get the height I need. But that way there's an opening when I flip it upside down, when I cut it off the bat, for me to be able to stick my hand in and shape the pot, ideally once I have attached them together. So now I'm gonna do some rudimentary shaping of this pot. And I think this is where I really messed up in this first attempt. Was I think the idea of shaping the pot ahead of time is good, because you don't want to shape it too much on the wheel when you connect them, in case you rip the seam or collapse the pot and you've done all this work. But at the same time, I was throwing in a way that I thought would support the weight of the clay. But actually, the rim of the clay and the top section of the clay was much thinner than I meant to throw it. And I was anticipating it to be able to kind of hold its shape a little bit more and hold its weight. But as you will see in the end of this video, that is not exactly the case. So here I am leveling the rim to make sure that it is flat and ready to go, and rounding it so that it fits into that groove that we made on the first pot, and just checking with calipers every so often to make sure that the pot is the correct diameter. So the most exciting part of this process is actually flipping the top section upside down, which kind of happened off camera, but you can see me connecting the pieces. And you can see that it instantly had issues. I move in front of the camera, it's gone, it's flopped. Nothing to be saved, because the middle sections where they were connecting were too thin and too wet and did not support the weight. So this has been Evan Stevens Ceramics, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Please like and subscribe.